Hey everybody, how's it going? I've been off YouTube for a while. I got busy with a lot of stuff, some projects on the side and real life events. But I managed to finally finish the Uncharted 3 journal. If you've seen my previous videos for Uncharted 2 journal, you'll remember I had just started on this. So basically, I used the same technique as I used on the Uncharted 2 journal. So I probably won't be going into much detail about how I did this one. I mean, if you want to know some of the details on how I did this, you can just go back to the Uncharted 2 journal video, which is on YouTube. Aside from that, this will probably just be a simple review on the Uncharted 3 journal. So the first few pages are usually pretty clean on here. If you remember in the game, Drake's journal is actually made up of several different journals that he uses throughout the game. And each journal is weathered slightly different. Some are cleaner than others, some are simply smudged, some actually have aging to them because they actually have old pages attached to the journal. So as I'm going through this, you'll notice that pages drastically change in weathering from one to another. These first few pages are basically pencil smudges and just a few things taped on here, so there's not much weathering on here. These first few pages were actually done with colored pencil. As you can see, this is black colored pencil with some yellow and red in here. And this page was actually a page taken from the brochure that Drake uses in the beginning of the game. I had a lot of help with the guys at the RPF again, which is a Replica Props forum, so they're a wealth of information over there, so they helped out a lot. I did a lot of research, and they did a lot of research, and we finally got together and managed to figure out what this page actually says. So this one came out pretty good. Here we have the map of the Indian Ocean from the game. This was done in colored pencil also with some red pencil as well. Simple weathering, just pencil smudges, and some of Drake's artwork. Now, my previous journal, you'll remember that I used a technique where I basically took some graphite and just scrubbed it on a page, and then basically was able to flip it backwards while pasting the printout image that I got from the screen capture on there, and then I just drew on the back, and then when I lifted the page off, the transfer would come out on here, which would allow me to draw over it and clean things up. Back when I did the Uncharted 2 journal, I had a hard time finding graphite paper, so I had to do it the hard way and just scribble pencil on the piece of paper. So, but you can actually go to some stores that may carry graphite paper. It's kind of hard to find, but I managed to find some for this project, so that would make things a lot easier. Now, if you can see here, I don't know if you can tell, but the weathering's a lot different on these pages here compared to the previous pages. These pages actually look old rather than just smudged. These are from a different section of the journal in the game. So the first section's already done here, and then in this section, Drake uses a different journal. And as I said before, all the journals that were used in the game were kind of compiled to make Drake's journal. So that's why these pages jump from weathering and different types of aging. This was an actual article, the article itself, not the entire page, and I managed to find the article. I believe it was from a Philadelphia newspaper in 1935, and the text on there was about 90% accurate to what was in the screen capture. The screen capture was a little fuzzy, so I had to use the actual article to figure out what it said. Aside from that, I just took a photo and threw this in Photoshop and managed to put together the page similar to the way it looks in the game. These were also found online. I just printed them out, made them look like old photographs. This page right here is kind of interesting. A while after I did the second journal from the second Uncharted game, I was lucky enough to be contacted by Sony because they had seen this they had seen work on my previous journal, and they wanted me to do a replica of this journal for their Uncharted 4 trailer. So if you watch the trailer, the one that's being narrated by Sully, there's a shot of the camera panning over the table with different artifacts on it, and you'll see these 2 pages on there, which I was lucky enough to do for Sony. These pages here were India ink marker with some pencil shading on there. Some of the puzzles that Drake did in the game. Some more puzzle pages. Now you'll notice these pages are a lot cleaner than the previous ones. So once again, this is a different part of the journal that was used in the game. So that's why everything looks kind of different. Basically use sepia colored marker on this. And if you watch the game, you'll see that these pages here have kind of a brownish tint to the marker, so I tried to simulate that. Once again, India ink marker, and this is actually colored pencil here. Sepia colored pencil. Now we come to another section of the journal. So this is a 3rd compilation of the journal, I think 3rd or 4th, not exactly sure, but it's one of the 3 or 4 journals used in the game. Once again, this was brought into this journal to make one big journal, and you'll notice that the pages here have graph paper. I had a hard time figuring out how I was going to do this, whether I wanted to actually use graph paper or if I wanted to draw it, but gluing graph paper on here would just make the pages a lot thicker and bulkier. So I just decided to go ahead and draw these lines by hand. So all those graph lines on there were actually drawn by hand with blue pencil. Once again, these images you can find online. Just type in Queen Elizabeth and Francis Drake and John Dee and do a little bit of searching. You'll be able to find these images. The same thing with the tarot cards. I managed to find those online. Took a bit of searching, but I eventually found the same tarot cards that they used in the game. And I believe that's it. And that's Drake's Uncharted 3 journal. So, thanks for watching.